Okay, so people have asked for me to talk about how to do the move last utility. I kind of showed it off with some little bit of show and tell here. Because it's one of those things where you just get so excited by a tiny little thing that makes your life just that much easier. First of all, let me show you what it does, assuming I didn't break it just now. I think I did. We were just messing with it. We decided to do a video on it. I'm out here and I have a sound. I want to download a sound, right? I just downloaded this awesome sound. I'm going to go ahead and download that again just to prove the point. So this downloads the sound like is on my system somewhere, right? It's actually in the downloads directory. But I want to get it here. One of the most annoying things to do on the terminal is to go move around and copy things from where they are. I could have just move and then, do downloads. Actually, tilde downloads. I mean, it's just, I suck at typing. So there's all my stuff that I got. So I could do, which one is it? I don't even remember the name of it, right? Well, the truth is I don't normally look at the names anymore because I don't need to remember them. So there's this big, long, hairy name, right? So wouldn't it be great if I could just do that and then put it right there? But what if I had a command where I could just do this? Move last hey.wave. So what I wanted to do is like move that whole file wherever it lives to this current directory, get it from the downloads directory, and rename it. Done. One command. There it is. Hey.wave. The end. How do you download the thing? And so I started showing people this command that I had started writing. I'm just going to go through the command really quickly. I'm not really going to, I'm just going to unpack the command for you, not like take you through it like really, really detailed. But you caught me in the middle of making this command sort of less Unixy. As I had it before, I have it relying on a bunch of other commands that are, that's the Unix way. Make one command and each command that does something. And I actually was bringing in this function so I can make it into an independent script that just can stand on its own without any dependencies other than what's on the system already by default. And of course, this currently is a shell script, dash script, not necessarily bash. On the newest, right? Yes, there's still a newest dependency. So let me show you. This is a cool little VI trick. So I don't know where newest is. It's relatively close. I don't even know where I am. I'm just going to go ahead and import it in here. The way you do that is I'm just going to type, cat which newest, because I know it's in my path somewhere. So, and then I do bang bang and send this line to bash, which is probably another way to do that, but that's my favorite. And then it goes and finds the whole entire script and injects it into my VI session right there. As we can see, this is bash, so that means I have to upgrade the whole script to bash instead of POSIX, dash. And you can see it's doing a lot of fun stuff. This is one of my favorite things from bash, which sets the input separator to an actual /n character. But we're not going to get into that right now. So there's a good old ls-1. I could have done this with a find command, but this is good enough. And I'm going to go ahead and do I'm going to do a little bit of upgrading here and properly declare this. So we're going to declare f. So echo f-1. That this is an array. So we're going to go ahead and declare it as an array. And I'm going to go ahead and declare this too. Hopefully I'm not breaking anything, but I want to check that. Okay. What does -z check for? -g is one of the most common. Ooh, definitely make this a bash. I just went through another video if you want to watch it. I went through the Google shell style guidelines, and it is awesome. I think every shell scripter should read it. And it makes a really solid case and explanation for using double brackets versus single brackets. The biggest part being that single brackets do shell expansion and double brackets do not. I've been coding in shell for years, and I did not really have a solid handle on that until I read that guideline. It was really great to read that. So I'm just doing a couple of other things that I recently learned about so yeah, go watch that video if you want. It's on YouTube. And there's a number of other things going on here that are okay to do, but a little bit magical. I'm going to go ahead and put the function. Wait. So actually, I imported this guy. This guy needs to be a function now, so I need to make him a function. Newest. I love that they said not to use the function keyword. That made me so happy. They didn't say not to, but they didn't like it. I don't like the function keyword. So this tell_n thing is pretty much it's too hard to do here. Tell_n, this is actually using a PEG markdown parser written in shell to do syntax highlighting using a pseudo simplified markdown syntax. And I'm super proud of that, but way too much to put in there. That's definitely gonna stay its own thing. If you don't want to do that though, we could comment that out and I can give it to you without the dependency, and just actually, you know what, I can lose the dependency on tell_n, and I'll come back to that a bit later. Let's finish our porting of all our dependencies, or importing of all the dependencies and making them into functions instead of you know, separate commands. So yeah, you found the guideline. Thank you for that. I think we're all good to go. I do need to practice using Newest. There's a problem you have with using functions too, is it's a little bit hard to test them without, you know, having them as commands. You can go ahead and test. This guy though, I'm going to go ahead and change this one from a tell_n to just a plain old. Should I do print? I can just do printf. Should we do printf? I kind of like printf lately. So yeah. And we'll do what the first color is, and then we'll do what the second color is. And then if you don't know printf, you kind of have to know about this. And then \n. I'm going to follow the convention of putting curly brackets around variables. And you know what else I'm going to do? Another convention that they do. They have, if you have more than one function, Google recommends you add a main function. And I like that because people from other languages can accept that and like it. It means nothing happens until I call it. So down here, I'll just call main and I'll give it all the arguments, which by the way, they also said was the standard way to call printf is from C. Yep. But when you start to have a number of things, it kind of starts making more sense. %s. It also, I mean, it also feels a lot more like a template variable or, you know, template literals from JavaScript, format strings from Python, and I think it's just called format strings in Rust, which I've really been warming up to tell you the truth. So what do we have here? Okay, so that was me making another color distinction. So it's hard to know whether to put the color there or the actual thing. Either one would work. Ooh, I mean. Let's try this with echo. All right, enough of this craziness. So this will be from, what was it before I broke it? So I just broke my thing. So was it red? I think it was yellow, right? I don't know what it was. I'll have to go figure it out. So no, actually I think it's gold. Gold from no. We want this to be kind of gray. How about that? Gray. This is not the part you care about, I know. But it's just, I'm a little mad that I didn't check what my colors were. I should probably go do that right now. Anyway, I'm trying to show you too is you can actually import colors directly. I am obsessed with colors. Okay, just lay off. I tell you what, we'll add the colors later. Okay, they'll be in like the next segment. All right, so from. I need to hear the music a little bit more. And we'll go to, let's get rid of all the colors for now. 2 is using the convention that Google suggests, which is to put brackets, curly brackets, even if you don't want to. And I actually like that because you can find your variables easier. 2. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's simple enough. That's all good. We don't need to do any escaping or anything in there, and that's good enough for government work or whatever people say these days. Local from and local to, good. Yes, thank you very much. That would be consistent with the and of course these are now local too. We talked about that on another video. It's a long video that I think it's an hour and a half, but I go through every single point in the style guideline from Google, and I got to tell you, I'm so happy I did it. So this declares F as an array. These are locally, that \n does the new line return. Yep. This is just saving me from doing 2 echoes. I could have just done this. Might be easier to read to just do it this way. You'll see this a lot in shellcode. Unfortunately, there's a lot of shellcode out there that does multiple echoes on different lines. Not local MV. Oh, whoopsie. Thank you for that. All right, so main echo. This is a really great one that they did too. This passes all the arguments to the script on to the function as they were passed, which is really awesome. So that's a pretty healthy little script that's almost ready to give to y'all. Let's test it, shall we? Shall we test it? Go back and download this thing again. Download. Save file. Okay, save that file. And let's hope it works. Move last another dot wave. It did it! Huzzah! It copied it over. So let's just do a quick review. You might notice, by the way, that the script I've been editing is not in this directory. I'm using something called VIC, which is, for me, is just a function. It just opens VI vim against the files. That's the first argument, which is, and the which finds that file. So it's a really handy way to open up and edit a script wherever it lives to tweak on it. Sometimes it's a bad idea because you'll end up tweaking on the script and forgetting to commit it to Git or something. So it's not always the best thing, but if you're regularly committing your dot files and your scripts and stuff, it works well. It's a pretty good way to do that. So VIC MV last, I don't have to know where it lives. I can just go edit it. And sometimes that's nice to see what's inside of a thing, by the way. So VIC ls will actually open ls where it is, and you can see the binary file inside. And that, thank you, just give a full path to a single argument. For the single argument, I asked earlier about changing the path, as in this path, about why you would change that and when and stuff. Have to look into that one. Let's just wrap up this video about MV last. So we've created 4 functions. I don't like to call them functions, but that's what people call them. I actually call them subroutines or procedures because they're not functions. They don't have return values. Last down sort of has a return value, but it's the thing that it prints out, which, you know, call it what you want. I'm not calling it a function. So, and this here is where the magic happens. So this says, you know, print out ls, in other words, list, you know, 1 to a line with no color, all of the files in order that so that the last one, the most recent one with the most recent last modified time appears at the top. And if nobody passes in an argument, go ahead and use this directory as the argument. This is beautiful. This little thing here, this parameter expansion. This parameter expansion says use, if there's a value for 1, if they passed in an argument, use it. Otherwise, use dot. It's a way of setting a default value, and it's just so awesome. It's one of the best things about Shell that I just really love. That saves you like several lines of code. And so yeah, and then that's it. This creates an array, a whole bunch. There's probably lots of ways to do this, but this returns, so it creates F as an array, and F minus 1 says take the top item, or the last item, I think, off the list. And one of the two, I can't remember. I have to go look up which are these TRDs. One of them is ordering the list so that the most recent one is either at the top or at the bottom. I don't remember. But this would imply that it's pulling it off off of the bottom. So that means the last item listed is the most recent, and so it grabs that one and echoes it, and then that can be returned to this move last. I would never do that. Oh, you're talking about moving it to another place? Yes, you can do that. Does that not work? That should work. Does that not work? No, because it would have messed up my sorting, Peter, in this case. Yeah, in this case, I mean, this is again. So, in fact, ls may not be the best thing here. You could use find as well. So ls or find. All I need is a list of all the files in the directory. And there's at least 4 ways to do that. So I just did ls now. I just want to use ls fastest and simplest, and I made sure there's no colors in the output. Colors can mess up the title. But I am curious about this comment about the full path. So you're saying you can't move it to a new path. Pretty sure you can. He asked about using a second argument for a specific to spec a path, but that's not it. No, because we just did that. Why would you mess up sorting? Have color equals auto, and I combine it with those sorting options in the past. Probably because my ls is already in the past. My ls was already mapped. There we go. Color equals auto. Could that be a reason? Aliases are used when you're executing interactively. I'm pretty sure they're used for scripts too. Yeah, I have to go look. I always go back and forth between that and functions. Yeah, I didn't want to take any chances. Command ls. Yeah, I guess it could have done that. I don't use that a lot, but could have done that. There's that one. I can remove this guy. I don't need him anymore. All right. So any other questions about that? Any other optimizations you guys can see? So newest downloads just says if last down is command one of your scripts. Here's another little video about how to add colors. So you may have seen the other video I just did about how to do an MV last. And this is a fun video, a fun little tool to pull in the last download and put it in your current directory or whatever you want to name it, whatever path. You can watch the video about that. But what I would like to have it do is actually have it print out